Hey there guys, this is Dan with Arcade Funcade. Today we're going to show you guys a Mortal Kombat 4 arcade machine that we just built. We finished it up here. We're going to go over a couple details. There's a lot of little cool little details and ideas that we kind of came across when making this thing. And we're going to show you guys how we start the machine. We have a little on and off button here hidden on the side. And you just press that guy. So I'm going to allow the computer to kick in. And I'm going to go over a couple little details here while we're waiting for it to light up. We have the coin mechanisms in here that are fully functional, and we have the wiring system that comes in, loops around, and goes up into the control panel. Now there's also a volume control knob down here, and a Xbox 360 little receiver down here that you have to press this little button at time, press and hold, to allow to have the Xbox 360's little controllers sync up. I'm going to go over a couple of features this thing has. This thing has a 32-inch LED screen, and it has I think it's like a 24-inch LED bar up top with a real Translite graphic up there. The video does not do it justice for sure. We did have we fully wrapped this guy with a Mortal Kombat 4. I think his name's Quin Chi. And this guy, just noticed that this guy's a little high here. So I left it up here, so I'm going to show you guys a couple little details here on how to open this up, which I could do now. There's a couple little screw holes here and there that we're going to be pushing in. But we're going to be picking this up right now to show you guys some of the wiring down below. I'm going to do a little walk around. What we do with these guys is that we've learned a little something. We have over the years, just by making machines for people that are at home, they want to be able to work on their own machines. So what we did is or make upgrades to their machines. We have this little cutout here to allow people to put in another HDMI hookup in there, or even component cable connections and all that stuff. It has a little USB in there as well. We have a little 8-inch sub in here, and this guy, we have our computer system working in here. Now what we have back here is we have everything plugged in. We have your Xbox 360 remote receiver in here. We have a keyboard USB connection here, little plug-in, and we have the headphone jack. We have a couple extra little USB connections in there, which is nice. Now what we did do, and we have followed a different procedure in how we build. We used to hardwire everything onto certain boards and just fuse everything up. And what we learned is that by doing that, and if somebody or anybody has an issue with their machine in the future and they have to remove a part or do something, it becomes very, very hard. So what we do is we put a power strip in the back. We leave a couple outlets open in case somebody wants to add something in there. And what we literally do is just plug everything in. That way it makes everything a lot easier to just unplug, plug, or check any connections. It's just so much smoother. Another thing that's kind of nice is that if the Translite light inside is too bright, you could also reach in here. In the back side here, you can see the two little handles here. You could reach inside, and it has one of those little turn dials. You could literally turn the light on and off. So, well, now that I have that off, I'm going to show you the front Translite. It came out amazing. And it's a special Translite material which allows all light that hits it, it spreads it evenly across the top of the graphic there. So that's really cool. And you won't see any shadows or anything in the background. It's just it's a full lit up top half. So what we're going to do is show you the bottom half of this bottom part of this machine. And I need some assistance with doing that. So what I'm going to do is show you guys, pick this thing up, and show you guys the simplicity on the bottom of this machine. We actually have a iPac 2 control panel here. And what we have here is that all the wiring is connected and spread out for player 2, player 1. We have all the ground cables, all the black cables here, all the ground cables on the top of each button here. And we have all of our connecting buttons, the buttons that are required to make a switch in action, connected to every second switch. So you can see the top terminal closest to the ground is where these wires kick in and connect. So we also fastened everything. There's a lot of people I've been seeing out there that have all these guys just completely just hanging everywhere, and nobody knows what to do with them. So here's what we did with the coin doors. Because of the fact that some of these machines have to go into an environment where it's not always a commercial environment, it's a home. These machines require for the control panel to come off. So what we did, you swing around here, just show this. So what we did is that we took, this is your coin wire that comes up from the bottom. It's a black and green wire. What we did is that we connected it directly to this little, this little switch here. So we connected the black wire to this ground switch, and it could connect to any ground switch. We just connected it to this guy here. And this blue wire is our coin button. So with this guy, we connected our green wire to the lower switch, which ends up being this little lower button here. So if you ever have to take it off, you just take it off of there. Again, we put these little alligator clips on there so we can make it easy to remove and install. So if your coin door isn't working, it's because these guys aren't plugged in correctly, and it's very simple to connect them. We were going to put a little Molex connector in there, and we just figured this is a lot simpler for the customer. So we did that, and we also have this iPack cable, which is like a mini USB. And rather than connecting it all the way in the back of the PC, we connected it right here in the front of the PC. There's a little connection right here, little USBs. You can see the little USBs here. So we plug it right here in the first USB, and you are ready to go. We also have we have a little bit of wire spool here, spooled up. So in case you ever have to pull the computer back, dust it out or anything, you could just undo this little screw and snip this little the zip tie. We try to make it as simple as possible so you could actually maintain the computer inside. And you snip this guy, this little zip tie, and you could run the computer back a good like 4 or 5 feet. So that's pretty cool. It has the little mini switch down here that actuates your on and off switch. You can see this guy. It's going to be pretty hidden down there, but it's underneath. So there's a little mini switch down there. So if you ever need to yank out the computer, all you got to do is just take out the little button. We have this the screws, the screw holes for this control panel. What we're going to do is take off the way to take this thing off is to take off one screw at a time. We have one here, and there's another one up here in the top left, and there's bottom left. So there's only 4 screws holding it. It's a 2-inch wood screw. So we have 4 2-inch wood screws on here as well. Now, if there's ever ever a need to take off the glass, you ever get any dust or anything down there, right now that we have this open, it's kind of a cool idea for us to go over this. There's a little screw here, a tiny little screw at the bottom. You see that guy right there, that little screw, and there's going to be a little screw over here on the other side. And what you do is you take those little screws out, and then that'll allow you to take this metal bracket holds this entire glass in. So then you can just take the bracket out and slide the glass down, grab it with your fingers, pick it up and yank it out, clean it from both sides, or do whatever you want to with it. And that'll allow you to take off the glass and get inside. So put this guy in. Oh, there's a good little thing. So we have this little stopper here, and these 2 little guides on the sides. So what we do to install the control panel is we slide it down, we kind of center it out, and you bring it down so both ends are inside the wall. Once they're both connected, you just push it straight down, and you're gonna feel right here down to the side for these 2 little holes. You'll feel it through the graphic here. Once we punch the holes through and put the screws in, you'll see it. So when this arrives, the way to take it apart is to take out the 2 screws. Take out the 2 screws. There's gonna be 2 screws on each side. You pick this guy up. You take the top off, and you take off the 4 screws, and then you're going to be looking for the connection for this guy and this guy. These little alligator clips have got to be you got to take them off so you can fit it through doorways. This control panel is 37 inches wide. Most doorways about 36, 32 at times. Hallway doors and basement doors are usually 32, 34. 32, 36, sorry. And sometimes they're as little as 24. So always let us know what size your doors are before you order, so we can make sure that we build a cabinet according to the size of your door at times. So, but in this situation, in this case, all you got to really do is just take out the control panel and allow that to happen. What's really cool about this guy is that you have 2 wires to deal with: a USB, one USB, and one wire that has the 2 little alligator clips. So it's super simple, super easy. If anything ever happens, here's the other beauty behind this machine, is that if something breaks down, you don't necessarily have to take the entire machine and send it all back. You can now just take off the top control panel, spool up the wire here, the USB connection, spool it up, take off the alligator clip, throw this in a box, ship it back, and we fix it up. The other thing is, if the computer messes up, there's just 4 little screws there to undo. I'll walk around here and show you. Now on this guy, we have 2 screws up top, 2 here, 2 on another bracket here. So you don't unscrew the bottom brackets that are screwed into the computer. You unscrew the bracket screws that are on the back wall, and the lower one you can unscrew the one on the bottom, the two along the wall, and you can be able to slide this entire thing. Just unplug the computer. You can take everything out. So it's kind of nice that to be able to have that ability to slide things out and just send things back if needed, you know, for repair or whatever, or maintenance. The other thing is that we completely go in. I've seen a lot of machines that come in that we repair, and they don't have wiring in place. Everything's just dangling everywhere, which really makes a mess if something happens. They get shaken up during shipping and all that good stuff. So what we really do is we go out of our way to make sure everything is completely buckled down. We have every one of these connections, your HDMI, your power wires, all this stuff, and you have even your speaker wires are all connected up, and everything down here, all the little mini connections in that are all connected. All the wiring is all secured. Your power wire, your connections down there, all the power is all spooled up and connected here, and secured. I'm sorry, not connected, secured. This is secured. So the idea is to have everything secured, so you don't have things just flying around and just beating each other up. There's plenty of room in there. It's kind of nice. It allows for kind of a good little bass box to kind of blow up in there and just give you a good sound. Now we do have 2 back doors. Most people they always wonder, like, what the heck's going on? How are we going to close the back door? So we have these 2 panels get installed on the back side, so we could then close up the machine. So we have one on the bottom, one up top, and we also have these 2 handles here to allow us to transport, to move around, to allow for airflow, and you get your speaker sound out of the back and front. There's 2 speaker holes in the front that allow for sound to go through, light to go through. What's really neat is that we angled the board correctly, and we allowed for the speaker holes to kind of hit the right angle, so you could light up the control panels at night. So you don't have any you have a nice dim low light on the control panel. And as I showed you guys before, there is a small switch in there that you could just turn off the translite if it's too bright for your room or for your eyes. You have that option as well. So I just wanted to go over that stuff with you. I'm going to show you a little bit of the gameplay now the machine is on. There's a lot of details to go over, I guess. So what I'm going to do is turn on this Xbox 360 remote and show you guys. All you had to do is turn on the button, push the button, it lit up, and you could play with the joystick. So you could literally play with the joystick. I'm going to jump into MAME there. I'm going to go to a game, go to a Street Fighter game here. I'm going to show you guys how to use both joysticks at the very same time. And let me get the lights really quick. Now what we're going to have here is 2 joysticks, and a lot of people ask us, how do I use the 2 joysticks with a real arcade? So here's a secondary. You see the little little glare there. So we're gonna press the little center button there, and the player 2 light automatically lights up. And what we're going to have here is that we're going to show you guys the way this thing plays. So I have the volume down right now, so you guys can hear us. It gets pretty loud. So with this guy, with your first player controller, you can play with joysticks or Xbox 360 remotes. Now what's cool about that is that with the Xbox 360 remote, you don't necessarily have to play here. If you want to send your signal out, all you got to do is take our HDMI cable, unplug the cable that goes into the HDMI cable that goes into the back of the PC, run it out to a TV, and turn on the system as you normally would, and you'll have this same image on a TV, on your wall-mounted TV, and you'll also have your HDMI, your sound travel through your HDMI, which is really cool. What's neat about this guy is that you can do you'll have this coin button on the left. So we're gonna be pressing coins. You can see the little credits going on there, and you could either play with. I'll show you with this guy. Let me light this up really quick. So what you can do is with the first player, or the second player. The first player is already there. You just got to press the start button on the right side of the button, and you'll get your second player guy come up. So, I think I got to throw some coins in there. There he is. Okay, now he lit up. Now I can choose him. So what we're gonna do is go back out. I'm gonna show you guys how you can go to the the Nintendo 64. Or Nintendo's, any of the Nintendo games. Here you go. I'm gonna start with this guy. I'm gonna lower the volume on this guy. Press start to get in. So you use the first player Xbox 360 remote, and we're gonna press start on this guy. So I'm gonna look for a game and just jump in pretty much. Let's see what happens here. I'm looking for any game really. TNC Surf Designs would be good. That is way at the bottom, my goodness. There we go. So we're going to jump into a game. We just press the start button and it jumps right in. We press the start button again. We make our selection here to kind of figure out what we want to play, whether we want to play a one-player or two-player game. And you just press this little select button on your remote. I can't really line it up here. So let's say we're just going to play a one-player game. We press start. You press the A or B button. And again, with the remote, you can actually guide your guy up or down. You can jump. Oh, sorry. So it's kind of neat that you can actually use the remotes. Again, you could use them. It's kind of weird, but remotely, I guess. You could be sitting on a couch. You could be doing whatever. You could be far away or close up. You could use it to play whatever system you like. A lot of people ask us about. I'm gonna get back into what we're doing here. I'm gonna light this place back up and show you guys the buttons. Go over some of the buttons again. We're gonna have some. Go over the buttons we have here. Player 2, we have the coin button here. We have the exit button. On the player 1 side, we have the enter button and coin button. So the blue buttons up top are going to be your coin buttons. And everything else is going to be the fighter, all the fighter buttons. You're going to have button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because of the fact that this is a Mortal Kombat 4 theme machine, we wanted to keep it original and stay with its original theme on there. And just want to do a little walk around here what this machine actually looked like once it got done. It looks pretty rad. Has a nice finish. All the edges were trimmed up. It has real nice controls. Nice control panel box. The back got trimmed up as well, and it was all connected. So we have a lot of the imaging and graphics that are on here. Up top are all folded up behind and underneath, tucked underneath the trim. That allows it kind of holds the graphic from having any rollback if it ever gets cold or during transportation and that. And you can see how shiny these graphics are. They're actually really nice, and they're really nice and textured, and really they really hold up to a good butt kicking. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys what we had going on here. I'm going to exit out. So yeah, to exit out of a game, just press the exit button, and what you do then is you can just use the joysticks. That's primarily what people use anyway, is the joysticks to figure that out. Now, if you want to jump all the way out to the main menu, the main menu you're going to want to go to play all the arcade games is going to be the MAME system. The MAME system is going to be right there, the little MAME. So you have a ton of stuff going on. So the MAME is going to be primarily all your arcade stuff, and there are MS-DOS games. A lot of people ask us about those games, and we definitely have them, which is pretty awesome. You have a bunch of homebrew games, some Capcom compilations. So you have a couple lists and files in there. They have just maybe like 15 to 100 games in there that are all just Capcom themed. You have the STV, arcade Nintendo systems, the Play Choice. So this is the original arcade style stuff. It's just you could find this in the MAME. This is just a little cool little nod towards the arcade stand-up machines. So we're going to show you a little bit of what this all has. It has some Windows games. It has run and gun games, PopCap. It has Scum VM, Pac-MAME. So it has like every Pac-Man screen you could possibly imagine on there. It has all the arcade, all the Vectric stuff as well. So anything Vector that was ever made, that it's all in here. So that's pretty awesome. So you have your original Star Wars, you have Asteroids, all that stuff. So we're going to start from here. A lot of people, never really heard of the GX4000, but that's where it really starts out for the consoles. Now what's neat is as you're going through it, you get the screenshot of each system that's there. So this machine literally has each one of these consoles on here, and every game for every console for every system, which is kind of nuts. So you have TurboGrafx 16, the Game Boy, Super Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. You have everything that you see on there is it can be ready to set up, and even the Game Gear. You have a bunch of stuff in there. So all this stuff is readily available. You have PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PSP games. I mean, it just keeps going. If you guys had any questions, you could always just stop and rewind and stuff on this stuff. There's just a ton of stuff, but we're back to the beginning. Kind of wanted to show you guys that stuff. There are some certain games, like some Windows games that do require a trackball to play. Now, what is kind of neat is that you can go, you can play with a keyboard if you're a keyboard aficionado. If you're not, that's okay too. There are a couple things that I'm going to show you right now of some of the stuff that we've been able to do. Could you do my keyboard? It's right there. And what's neat about this, guys, is there's a system that allows us to jump in and kind of change things up as needed. We kind of don't really want people to do it, but it's kind of neat to show you guys. So if you ever need to, you can. Tab. You press the tab button on a keyboard, and we do supply the keyboard with your machine. So you press tab on there, and you have this little menu that comes up: input, general, auto fire, slider controls, video. It has all these little options. So I'm going to go into like slider controls and kind of go over that. So what that does is it gives you a master volume. So you could higher and lower your volume from there. You can, if you find some games that are kind of like, you know, like these guys, they want to give you the best aspect ratio, but sometimes you want to be able to just stretch it out or do whatever you want with it. And you could do that with the vertical or horizontal position stretching. You can do that. And you simply navigate the menu with your up and down. You can do it up and down with your keyboard or up and down with a joystick. So I'm going to go up and down. And all you do is make your selection with a start button to jump back out. Oh, that's going to be your enter button. Sorry. Your enter button will kick you back out. And then if you want to go to video options and change some of the differences there, like your backdrops, bezels, all that stuff, you could change that. A lot of people don't want to mess with this, and I don't blame them. You know, it's a couple things you can do, but you don't want to really screw with it. There's some guys that could really jump in there and do some damage. I mean, some good damage in a way, and or bad damage, I guess. So just want to be able to give you guys the option of being able to do this. I mean, there's so much you could do. Player one interface, you could go in there and kind of shows you what each button does on there. So it kind of does the up, down, left, right, button 1 through 6. It shows you a little bit of everything, so that's kind of neat. And I'm just going to jump out of that game. But yeah, so there's a lot of little things you can do. There's certain games like, let's say Spy Hunter and that sometimes they require you to allow the gas pedal to work a certain way. So we can make a video on that, on how to show how we do that. There's a couple little details here and there, but it's kind of neat. This is definitely an arcade. You definitely do not require the keyboard to play. It's just an extra little option that we have to have there in case something happens. The other cool thing is you could always jump out. We do have tech support. So if there's anything anybody ever has a question or problem with, we can actually tech support this machine online. So we actually have it hooked up with TeamViewer already. The only thing we ask of you is to hook it up through, to the internet, and we could literally channel in. So I'm going to show you how we do that as well. So what we do is you push, well, exit, so we go back to the main menu. So you're going to see this little menu here. You press Control, Alt, Delete, and you'll have this little menu come up. And it'll ask you if you want to turn the lights off, please, on the side. We're going to go to Task Manager. I'm going to click on that, and we're going to go up, click on Hyperspin. And again, you could do this all with the keyboard that we provide. And it just, there's a little left click button, or you could use the mouse pad as well as a click. So what's going to happen here is that you turned off the Hyperspin. We're going to go to New Task, press that, Explorer. And again, you don't have to do any of this stuff. This is just this is like tech support stuff. So if anything ever happens, at least you have the option. A lot of people don't have this option. They're usually like, what the heck do I do now? So you can see here, this guy's it's looking for a connection, but there's no connection. Everything's disconnected. We're just on free mode here. So what we do here, just go down to the Team Viewer 11, click on that, and it'll open up a little box. And all we ever ask for is the little password that comes up on here. Being that it's not connected to the internet, it's not going to give us the ID and password to be able to remotely access it. And that's pretty cool, because that way it kind of helps you and us, I guess, to be able to troubleshoot this without having to send the machine in completely. So that's neat. And the other thing we do is just go down here to Start. You open this guy up, and we just go to Restart, and the entire machine will shut down and restart all on its own. So we're gonna sit back and check this thing out really quick. We've gone over the keyboard, the Xbox 360 remotes. We have the coin door and all that stuff. And the coin door, again, it's ready to go. It's ready to work right there. Oh, the other thing we have is the monitor remote. Let's go over that. It's got a little monitor remote. And what this guy does, it allows you to go in there, go into it. It has a little menu button here. And all you do is you can point right here, the middle of the screen where it says LED. And I could test it just with do a little volume button. Top left, you can see that it goes up and down. So there's little sensors behind this tiny little graphic here. And what that does is that it reads the remote. So if you want to change an input, as I showed you guys in the beginning of the video, there's a small input, HDMI input next to the computer input that it has now. And you could plug anything you want in there, whether it's a PlayStation, an Xbox, whatever you want. You could plug that in and just have that running. You could do a Fire Stick or whatever. Some people do that as well, and just have that thing running. So that's pretty cool. So here's the machine lighting up. Gonna let it go through this little intro. And it's kind of neat. A lot of people ask us, like, do I just skip through the intro? Can I skip through the intro? And it's like, yeah, you definitely can. What we do recommend is having you guys just watch the intro in the beginning, let it load up, so that way you give the computer time to just load up and just do its thing and set itself up. There's tons of stuff to load up and get things moving. So we want to make sure that everything loads up correctly, and it'll allow you to freely and smoothly go through this massive list that it has of games. So that's the idea. If we missed anything, or if you guys have any questions about any particular part of the machine, let us know. Our phone number here, if you want to give us a call sometime, give us a call at 402-641-4482, or you could reach us at arcadefuncade@gmail.com. And check out our machines. We're going to be loading this thing up. We're going to take some pictures of this machine. You'll be seeing it on the arcadefuncade.net, and you can look us up there. Under the Megacade and Megatronicade, we have a bunch of stuff, cocktail tables, and Megacade systems, and we have all kinds of stuff. Now, another thing we will be doing is we're going to be selling the PCs all on their own to make it more of like a console system for home use. And that way you don't need it. You won't need an entire system, like a whole box, whole arcade. Some people don't want to have that. They don't have the room for it. They have an apartment or something. They're like, you know what, dude, I have no room, but I want the system. So we make that happen as well. Again, you could give us a call at 402-641-4482. Ask for Dan, and we could definitely help you out with that. Or if there's any graphics or anything that we can help you guys out with, any specific or custom graphics, let us know. Give us a call. And what we do here is we also repair and remodel old school arcades. A lot of the stuff that's here we've had to completely redo, and some of these guys are customer machines. They're just drop offs, like this guy, this Rush the Rock. We just did a new hard drive on that guy, a new monitor, and redid all the wiring inside to allow for LED lights to kind of brighten it up. And we always have different things coming in. We have the Star Wars over there. We have some work to do on that, some virtual pins. This Mario Kart died. We have to do some work on the Tales from the Crypt. So we're always doing something. We don't just build arcades. We remodel them. We do repairs for anything you could imagine. Pac-Man PCB boards, game boards, monitors, whatever you can imagine. Throw at us. Throw it at us anytime. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to give us a call and or email us, messenger us through Facebook or Instagram. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let us know. This is Dan Bonilla with Arcade Funcade. Thanks for watching. And you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.